Seltzer Kings
podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by National Geographic, presenting its new documentary film, Endurance. Follow the greatest survival story ever told, unpacking the legendary feat of polar explorer Sir Ernest Shackleton, who kept his crew alive for over a year, despite losing their ship in frigid pack ice. Over a century later, a team of modern-day explorers set out to find the sunken ship. Endurance, now streaming on Hulu and Disney+.
If we don't know what we're fighting, I don't think we stand a chance.
It's strange, it's not like anything we've faced before. But it seems familiar somehow. Of course. The spell we cast with Buffy must have released some primal evil that's come back seeking. I'm not sure what Willow looked through the chronicles for some reference to a warrior beast. I've got to warn Buffy, there's every chance she might be next. And Xander and Willow, and try not to bleed on my couch, I've just had it steam cleaned.
Everybody, welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time, giving our review, our reaction. We are your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
And I am Vance.
And today we're finishing up Season 4. Season 4, Episode 22, titled Restless, written and directed by Joss Whedon. Original air date May 23rd, 2000, to an audience of 4.5 million people. And before we get into the episode, everybody, we got a couple of freaking shout outs from the Apple Podcast. I think I guilted some people last episode where I was like, I don't think we've gotten one of those in a while.
Yeah, guilt, shame, whatever's got to get the message out there, you know.
We got to do it. We got to get them freaking algorithms going on. So we got two shout outs. First, we got Dutch Queen 76. Thank you so much for your review on Apple Podcasts. Very cool, very nice, very kind. And also Echo Zephyr 13. Thank you for strongly recommending this podcast to anyone who enjoys Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I guess. Really appreciate your guys' reviews. It's super, super nice. And if you want to get a shout out, leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts, or leave a review or a rating on Spotify. Take a screenshot, send it to my DMs at Joe Welke. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy, and also join our Discord, which is linked in the show notes, because we have some stuff coming up for that. Vance is going to take it over from here.
Yeah, I randomly mentioned at the end of a fairly recent episode that we might be doing something a little different with the recaps the recap episode this season. We normally do a season-ending recap of everything, some predictions, what we think are going to happen next season and such. And this time,
reflection on the whole season.
Yes, just like where we are, a check-in, just how we're feeling. And this time I wanted to make it a little more interactive for our listeners. So we have made a season 4 awards, a listener awards poll. And the form will be linked in the show notes. And if you joined our Discord, you already have this, because we posted it over the weekend. And you can now just vote on your top 5 episodes of the season. You can vote for Joe's Fashion Corner, Best and Worst Dressed, and some other things that are on there. And me and Joe will still give our opinions of the season, but then we'll compare it to what the listeners think. So this way we get a gauge of like where we are and where they are. And that should be fun. And that will be revealed in the recap episode.
Yeah, it'll be super rad because like there's some times where like Vance and I like, or I'll really hate something or like there will be episodes that we are like, yeah, that's not that great. Or there's episodes that we're like, oh, we really like that one. And people are like, really?
Yeah.
You like that one?
We want to know how far off we are. Like, are we all on the same wavelength or not? And it'll just be fun there to see what our listeners think and everything. So yeah. And there's a section for, some questions, some Q&A questions that you can throw our way, and we'll try to answer those if the podcast doesn't get too long.
Yeah. The bonus episodes tend to be a little longer, I think.
Which people like, and we deal with it.
Look, I can ramble about this shit for a long time, as noticed by my activity on Discord sometimes.
Yeah. And if you're not on Discord, you really should hop on there. It's a fun time. Good group of people.
But with that out of the way, let's get into this last episode of season 4.
Do we have to?
I was gonna say, right off the bat, Joe Welke here. Not a fan of this episode.
This is the type of stuff I'm not usually a fan of in shows, where they get a lot of just some of the bits and jokes in this are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a running
moments.
Yeah, there's a running gag that is insane. That's just so random that I love it. There's some great lines in it, some really cool moments. Overall, as a story, nah.
Yeah,
it's such an in between of the finale that happened last episode and a teaser for next season.
Yeah, and I feel like it didn't tease enough.
Yeah,
you know, like I don't know.
We'll talk about the Angel episode in our Patreon.
Yeah,
and that one
that's a good tease.
That's a good tease.
That's a good tease, dude.
I was like, all right, I'm down.
See, I was waiting for something like that to happen in Buffy. Like, we haven't had any, like, real cliffhanger-y, like, oh, shit, oh, that just happened. Like, every season kind of wraps up nicely. And it's like, well, that was that arc. Let's move on to the next one.
I'm fine with that because I feel like a lot of shows also didn't know if they were going to get picked up for another season.
Fair.
This one seems like, oh, we know we're hot. We're going to have another season. At least, I'll say this. At least this seems like they know what they're going to do next season.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Like, maybe. Or at least have some idea.
The writers probably do.
No. That's what I mean. Like, the writers seem like they have something planned for next season.
All right. Well, let's just fucking get into this. We start the episode off with a recap of the Scooby Gang defeating Adam, using the spell to summon the spirit of what we learned is the spirit of the first Slayer and like all of the Slayers, while also combining all of their powers or something, and defeating Adam. And yeah, so this episode opens up with Buffy at her house, like her home, not her dorm, not the college, not the rundown shitty high school that Riley's staying in. She is at home. And she's talking to Riley about how he's about to go and do a debriefing with the initiative and the military, and how it's like, oh shit, well, I'm probably going to get dishonorably discharged or honorable discharge after I tell him everything. Buffy's like, well, I'm worried about you, Riley. And he's like, don't be worried. It's just questions. It's not going to be anything crazy. And the whole gang is there, and Joyce is there, and Riley heads out, and Joyce is like, nice to finally meet you, Riley. And Joyce is all mad at Buffy because she's like, did you notice that I said finally meet Riley?
I just thought of something.
All right.
This is
We're starting this episode off hot, dude.
Well, this is just like the night of, right? It seems like.
Yes.
How is he going to a debriefing already?
Well, how quickly did they fill up this place with concrete too.
Like, like it's no. He just cut his chest open in the last episode, and now he's about to go to a meeting, and like somehow he's going to a debriefing faster than it took them to be like, "Hey, Graham was injured, or Maggie Walsh was killed." Like those were like next day, next morning.
Yeah, I feel like you debrief later
this
on,
is like
not
months
immediately.
Yeah. I was like, wait, he's not. The place is still on fire. Where are you going?
Well, also in between the last episode and this one, he got a haircut.
Wait, it is the same night though, right?
That's what they make it seem like.
Like they were like, we couldn't even sleep after that, and they're all together. It's no way Riley is going to a debriefing. The place is still being shot up.
Yeah, dude. Also, his hair is a different length.
His chest is not bleeding. Like he should be in a hospital. I just thought of that. What?
Yeah, it blew my mind that they were like playing this off as like this is the same night that all of this shit went down.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, they just like walked the 5 miles to Buffy's house.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, all that adrenaline.
And rented movies.
Because
in what world is Giles like, hey,
let's Blockbuster is open.
Why are you
right
not going to Giles' house? I guess
why not go anywhere else?
Xander's basement will be more suitable for this.
Yeah.
What? No way Riley's having a debriefing 2 hours after the event happened. Washington has no idea.
I gotta be honest, I didn't even think of the debriefing thing.
I didn't think of that until you just gave that rundown of the scene.
I thought about the renting movies. Like, what? What maniacs are renting? Like, number one, what places? Because they rented like 4 movies. And they're like, we're going to stay up all night and watch movies. They made popcorn. And like, it's Giles, Willow, Buffy, and Xander. And then Joyce is like mommying them all, even Giles.
Yeah, and how was Giles there? Like, you had slept with Joyce. Like, there's no like lingering
tension.
There's no
awkwardness.
We haven't seen them in a scene together in a long time. Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't.
But, yeah, so they rented movies and they're like, we're going to stay up all night. We're going to watch movies just like in the old days. And Xander's like, yeah, what movie should we watch? How about Apocalypse Now?
How is that even a movie that you would think to rent after what you've been through? Like, Willow's like, do you have anything other? I'm like, did you guys not all go to the video store? Did you drop him off and let him run in? Like,
yeah.
What video store are still open? And why is it not like haunted with vampires?
But don't worry, they've got some more girly stuff. They got some more British stuff too. And they're going to have a good time watching all these movies.
I think Apocalypse Now is also like 2.5 hours long. That is one of those like classic movies that everyone had talked about in film school and stuff. And I still have never watched it. I've seen all the like references to it and bits and pieces, but I've never like sat and watched start to finish. That is not a movie that you put on.
No. I know the Creedence Clearwater Revival is a big part of it, you know.
And they reference it later with the character that shows up.
Yeah, but so they put on the movie and they all immediately fall asleep, basically.
Yeah.
And then this is where I wrote in my notes.
That should have been the episode.
I wish it would have been the episode. Because what I wrote in my notes next is, oh no, it's a dream episode. Literally, word for word, oh no, it's a dream episode. In all caps.
An episode where anything can happen and none of it has to make sense and none of it has to matter.
Yep.
Yeah. There's no threat in this at all. Like, I don't know, like, I'm watching it and I'm not like, oh no, how are they going to get out of this one? They just got out of that. They just got out of the atom thing. They're going to survive this. I don't know.
Yeah. So the first person whose dreams we enter is Willow. And they're in the dorm and Tara's topless and Willow's painting stuff on her back.
She is face down though. She's not boob out.
Yeah, no, it's not just. No,
She's not-
we haven't gone HBO.
But this is the most they push
Yeah.
for their
Well,
relationship.
I mean, a little bit later they push.
no, I'm saying in this episode.
Oh yeah. This episode is like, whoa, all right, you're really leaning into this. They still don't. I mean, they still don't show a kiss. They cut away from a kiss like a split second before it happens. I'm
I
like,
mean, the
come
leg
on.
caress, her drawing on her bare back.
Yeah. But they're speaking cryptically. Like Tara's speaking cryptically to Willow, and she's like, she's worried they haven't found out her name, and Willow isn't worried. And Tara says, you don't know anything about me, and you don't know everything about me, and they will find out about me, you know? And Willow's like, I don't care. And she's still painting her words all over Tara's back. And then Tara switches topics from this cryptic, like, nobody knows who I am. Nobody knows the real me. And they're going to find out about it. And they're going to find out about you, to switching the conversation to, you know, you got to get ready to go to that drama class that we mentioned last episode.
Yeah. That thing that you're terrified of.
Yeah.
Always, yeah.
And so Willow is like, I don't really want to leave. I don't want to go to drama class. I want to stay here. And then somebody goes to the window, and out the window you can see they're in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
And Willow walks, into the college, and she's walking the halls, and she walks by Xander and Oz. And they're like, hey, what's up, Will? How's it going? You going to class? You doing any spells? And Willow's like, yeah, I guess I'm going to class. And then Willow walks off. And then Xander's there with Oz, and he goes, whew, just thinking about two women doing a spell, I do that quite often, think about two women doing a spell, and then I do a little spell by myself. And then Oz just looks at him like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
I'm like, what is this episode?
Yeah. I mean, the shot lingers on Oz for a long time, too.
I mean, it's great delivery by Xander, given the line that he had to deliver.
So then Willow's getting ready for her drama class, and she walks into the class, and they're already getting ready for a production. Mm-hmm. Buffy's there, Riley is there, Harmony is there, and they're like, yeah, we're all ready to do the show. You ready? Why aren't you in costume? Or, no. They're like, oh, Willow, you're already in costume. That's great. Buffy's dressed up like a flapper. Harmony's dressed up like a German, lederhosen girl. Riley's dressed up like a cowboy.
Yeah, I'm a cowboy.
Yeah.
He says, I'm cowboy guy.
Yeah. Military guy, cowboy guy.
Yeah.
So they're all like, yeah, we're ready for the show. And Willow's like, wait, this is the first class. And how are we already ready for a show? We got a whole production. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, yeah, and your parents are here. They're sitting in the front row, and they're looking really mad. And Willow's like, wait, what? What's happening? What's going on? And then Giles comes out, and Giles is the director of the play. And he comes out and he gives a speech. He's like, all right, everybody, we have a great production ready for everybody. I'm so proud of everyone. And I'm glad that we're all here doing this. And I'm glad that we have a packed house, and it's filled with everyone that Willow knows, everyone that she likes, everyone that she hates, and they're all ready to see this production of Death of a Salesman. And
so there's 10 people in the audience?
Yeah. But while Giles is giving this speech, Willow notices some kind of weird presence lurking in the background. Kind of demon-y thing, going all over. And also while Giles is doing the speech, Harmony's trying to bite his neck. And he's like, stop that. Stop. Come on.
They're treating vampires like they treat vampires. This is how Giles leaves the door unlocked. He's like, get away. Stop. They're mosquitoes that just keep bugging him.
Yeah. And so after Giles says, we're doing Death of a Salesman, That's when Willow starts to mention, like, being like, wait a minute, what? Hold on a second. Why are we doing Death of a... Like, none of these costumes match. Like, she's got a cowboy, a flapper, and what's going on? And then she turns around, and then there's some bald guy there. Mm-hmm. And he's got a wooden desk, and he's got a bunch of cheese slices splayed out. And he goes, don't worry, I made a little space for the cheese slices.
And I was like, that's so random. Yeah. Fine. I'm like, all right.
And so Willow is all bugged out. She's like, I don't know what the hell is happening right now. This makes no sense. And she walks down this hallway of curtains and she sees Tara there. And Tara's like, oh, you better get ready for the production. Oh, it's going to be great. And then Willow like calls out that, like, hey, why is there a cowboy in Death of a Salesman anyway? Like, this doesn't make any sense. And Tara's there like, oh, there's something wrong with you, Willow. There's something wrong with you. And then we cut to the play that's happening. It's already started. Mm-hmm. And Riley's talking to Harmony, who's on a swing. And Buffy's laying on like a chaise lounge in her flapper gear. And Riley's in his cowboy gear. And they're like... I do enjoy that it's like Willow's interpretation of what Death of a Salesman would be like. It's like, oh, all these sales are happening and I'm a man.
Yeah, it was like there's a shot where Riley's like in the foreground just staring off, and like Buffy's like just really small in the back, like talking to him as he just stands stoically, and she's the sales line is pretty good. Like all these sales, like and all the sales of death.
Yeah. And then Tara cuts back to Tara and Willow, and Tara's telling Willow, like, you're going to be punished, and there's people after you, and you're going to get punished. And Willow's like, what? Why? Then we go back to the play, and now Buffy is going on an anti-man tirade about, like, fuck all these men and their sales, and I hate them all, and all of you men should be thrown into the sea and all this stuff. And Riley's just taking it. And I was like, this is exactly why I hate these episodes. I hate them. They're so random and cryptic, and it's like, oh, this is the deeper meaning of all this stuff, and oh, we're being cryptic and foreshadowing. Remember when we had that when Faith was in the coma and we had that scene of Buffy with Willow, or Buffy with Faith and the cat? Mm-hmm. And people were like, that cat's going to come into play later. Mm-hmm. I still don't fucking get what the cat's going on.
Well, they've referenced the making the bed together scene in this later. Yeah. But so I was like, oh, that's something. You know what this episode should have really been instead of what it was, even though I know they're setting up for the thing that you would think it would have been explained already by the season.
What do you think it's setting up?
It's that, I mean, they're talking about the first Slayer or whatever. Like, we're finally learning where Slayers come from. 5 seasons into the show, but, which seems late. But this episode should have really just been about Tara.
Yeah.
It really should have been about the Tara secret. Like, they get away from one thing and it's like, what is going on with Tara?
Well, it seems like it's setting up for that. Yeah. And then it's like, no, never mind.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh,
like she's in a lot of it. Well, she's in a lot of this one, and then she shows up in Buffy's, but she's not in Xander and Giles' that much.
She's in Xander's in a small...
Oh, yeah, she is in that.
Little bit part.
Is she in Giles' at all?
I don't think she's in Giles'.
Yeah. Which seems like a weird not having her in everything.
I mean, this is like, oh, we're finally getting to see what's up with Tara. And like Tara's talking about like, they don't know who I am. They don't know who you are. And it's like, oh, okay, now we can finally get to the bottom of this Tara mystery. And then it's a flip, reverse it. And it's like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
But anyway, back after this like Buffy tirade in Riley's face, Willow's in the hallway and Tara's gone. And then a knife just like comes jutting through the curtains in the hallway, and then Buffy saves Willow, and then they're back in high school again, and Willow is like, no, I can't be in high school again. The play's starting. And Buffy's like, the play is over. It's been over. Why are you still in costume? And then Buffy rips off Willow's clothes And she's in front of the whole class wearing like...
Didn't you think she was going to be naked?
I thought so.
Like, they've done this before with Xander being in his boxers during that, like, nightmare season. And he, like, looks down, it's like, oh my God. And that's, like, the classic dream trope of, like, oh no, where are my clothes?
Yeah. No,
I was confused by this.
Yeah, they just put Willow back in her, like, sweet girl clothes, like, from the high school days.
And I wasn't looking at her in the outfit she had on before, like, wow, you've really...
Yeah, it didn't feel like that much of a change.
No, and this outfit seemed like definitely more downgraded than like what she normally wore in the first 3 seasons.
Yeah, she was a victim. I would victimize her in Joe's fashion corner. And like she hasn't been that bad recently. Like I haven't really had that many Joe's fashion corner
no, but I'm saying
moments.
Like, I don't think
lately.
The outfit that they put her in this episode was like we definitely had it in the werewolf one when she had the jeans, and you've definitely gone off on Willow while she's been in college. I'm just saying this outfit, like she's like in this brown like overall thing.
It's like a brown dress and she's
like,
got like a
white
table knit
stockings.
sweater and stockings. Yeah,
it seemed like they went. I don't remember her wearing stuff like that necessarily.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just seemed like, and then when they cut to it, I was like, okay. Is she gonna get made fun of? Like, what? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, the whole class. She's like standing in front of the class doing her book report or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The whole class is looking at her weird and like heckling her. And Oz and Tara are like flirting with each other. It seems like, and then out of nowhere, like Xander's heckling her. He's like, "Boy, come on!" Out of nowhere, like the demon thing that was lurking in the background attacks Willow in the middle of her book report, and then we cut back to real world Willow, and she starts like choking in her sleep. She's like, it's like, okay.
And I was like, oh man, they're really gonna have to deal with this. And they don't.
No, because we now hop over to the next dreamer.
This one felt long.
This one was long.
Okay.
This one's got the most notes in mine.
Yeah, dude. I was like, man, they're really milking this. They still got 2 more people to go. And one of them's the main character.
So we go over now to Xander's dream. But Xander's dream involves him waking up. Oh, dream within a dream. Oh. So Xander wakes up. And he's watching, quote unquote, Apocalypse Now, which is definitely not a movie.
I was like, what is... Yeah.
And Xander's like, whoa, how long was I out for? And Giles like, oh, no, not that long. The movie's still on. So Xander's watching. He's like, oh, I got to get up and pee. And I was like, please don't make this guy piss his pants. Because there's that whole thing of like, if you pee in your dream, you pee in real life.
Well, a weird thing here is that they look over at Willow and she's like struggling, like having a nightmare. So it's like, wait, is he dreaming? Like, does he, like, what's happening?
Wow.
Yeah.
If it is not clear, it is clear that he's dreaming as soon as he walks upstairs to go to the bathroom.
Before he walks upstairs, he says, I gotta pee. And Buffy says, do you need a hand with that? And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Did she just offer to help him pee?
Yeah.
And there's like no reaction from like, he's like, no, I got it. And Giles isn't like, what the fuck are you talking about, Buffy? Like, it's such a weird line.
Yeah. So Xander goes upstairs to go pee. And as he's walking to the bathroom, from behind, Joyce Summers comes to the doorway of her bedroom, and she's like, hey there, Xander. How's it going? Xander turns around and he's like, oh, it's going good. She's like, you're looking really good. You going to the bath? You're looking really handsome these days. He's like, oh, thanks, Miss Summers. And she's like, don't you want to come into my room? And he was like, you know what? Actually, I do want to come in there.
Did they cut to a shot of like the unmade bed?
Yeah.
But like, it wasn't like it was like, it had a like a half turn down, half like I just got out of it look.
Yeah. It was like she had splayed the covers that was like inviting him in, like, hey, we got the bed all made up for you. Yeah. But it looked like not made, you know? Yeah. But she's wearing like a really seductive red nightie.
Negligee even?
No, negligee. And Xander's like, all right, yeah, I like where this is going. I'm going to take a quick trip to the bathroom, and I'll be right back.
There's a line that there's an exchange here where she goes, I've learned a lot about boys. And he says, that's very cool of you.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
So he's like, all right, I'll be right back. I just got to go take a piss. And Joyce was like, all right, I'll be here waiting. So he goes to the bathroom, unzips, looks like he's about to start peeing. And then he looks to his right, and it is a whole room of initiative soldiers there watching him about to pee. Mm-hmm. And he's like, ooh, yeah, I think I'm going to find another bathroom. And he zips up and he walks out. Walks across the hall, opens the door literally across the hall from the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And that door leads to his basement apartment thing. And he goes in there and he's like, huh, that's a little weird. Whatever. And he just starts to hear the door rattling. And he, like, the upstairs door rattling. And he's like, what the hell is this? Hey, don't come down here. I'll beat up whatever comes down here. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I know what's up there. And it's still rattling and he's all freaked out. So he leaves out his regular door and goes to a playground. And on the playground, Giles...
Where I spent most of my days.
On the playground, Giles and Spike are on a swing set.
Mm-hmm.
And Buffy's playing in a giant sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the daytime. And Spike is in a suit that is exactly the same as Giles's. And Xander's like, what's going on here? And Spike's like, oh, hey, what's up, Xander? Yeah, Giles is taking me under his wing. He's going to teach me how to be a watcher. And Xander's like, okay, that's fine.
They are swinging so high on those swings. And I will say, I wish swings were more acceptable for adults.
Dude, swings are fun as hell.
I know. But you can't
That's
just
why I do
go to a park.
trapeze.
But you can't just go to a park and hop on the swings.
Yeah.
And at certain parks you can, but there's not a lot of adult swings out there.
Yeah. There's an adults swingers.
Xander's trying to get on that list.
Yeah. So after Spike's like, yeah, I'm going to be a watcher, Giles goes, yeah, Spike is like a son to me. And Xander's like, all right, whatever. And then Xander looks across the playground and he sees himself serving ice cream to kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, all right, well, this is odd. And then he looks down at Buffy playing in the sandbox. And he's like, what's going on with you? This is a big sandbox to be playing in. You know, I'm a little bit worried about you, Buffy. Are you all right? You sure you're okay? And then Buffy calls him. She's like, yeah, I'm okay, big brother. And Xander's like, what?
Okay, sure.
Yep.
Yeah. That's my thought on all of this.
Yeah. And then we go over to ice cream serving Xander, who's watching all this happen from across the playground. He's looking at him. He's like, oh, what's going on? Yeah, whatever. I'm going to leave. So ice cream Xander hops into the driver's seat of the ice cream truck, and we get the craziest green screen shit.
The worst green screen. The worst.
I mean, this is absolutely intentional. This is definitely intentional, terrible green screen.
But this is the definition of bad green screen.
Yeah. And I don't know. I was just not happy.
Yeah.
I'm not happy.
Well, here's my thing. It's like, we don't have a threat anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, weird stuff is just happening. So it's like, it's just a visual display of like interesting sets and random things, but there's besides this like demon beast thing that's showing up here and there. It's very loosely tied together, and it's like it's so hard to keep the thread going. Like, why should I care about what's going to happen next? Because it doesn't seem like it's consequential, you know?
Yeah, and I get that they're trying to like delve into like these deeper issues within the characters and like how they position themselves within the group.
But we just did that.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was just. We've done this the whole season. Like we've had this happen non-fucking stop. You're hammering it into our fucking brains. I get it.
And we just had it reach its full conclusion of group hugs. They just took over each other's bodies. Like, all right.
And now we're back to Willow being worried, like, oh, they're not going to like me because of... and then we got back to Xander, like, oh, I'm a directionless loser. It's like, you got over that last episode, all right?
You know what I was thinking? I was wondering if this was one of those things, like with the Jonathan school shooting, where they just like moved an episode and had to put it at the end. But because of the way this episode starts... I don't believe that's the case.
There's no way.
The episode starts immediately after last episode, which also makes 0 sense.
Yeah.
Riley needs to be in surgery, fixing his chest, not in a debriefing.
He needs to be looking for more chips within his body.
Yes.
He needs to have a fucking metal detector wand.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Xander gets into the driver's seat.
Where's Spike in the real world? Where did they leave him? Did they just drop him off somewhere? Like, if this is the night of, he just saved them. They all left together.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Dude, Vance.
Sorry, I didn't think about it when I was watching the episode, so just my mind is still focused on it.
I'm just happy that we're on the same page about this because, like,
I will say this. I don't necessarily like this episode, nor think it needs to be there besides like the 15 minutes of it that's setting up for next season. But I do think I like this one more than the other dream sequency ones that we've had, just because this one has more interesting randomness in it, like the cheese guy.
Yeah,
and some of the Giles stuff and like the Riley stuff later was funny.
Yeah,
but as a whole, no.
Well, what I don't like about it is what we just talked about. How it's like it's hammered at home. Like we get it. Like I thought we already resolved this.
Yeah. This feels like an extra episode because they were like, oh shit, we're supposed to do 22.
yeah. Like they looked down. They're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, this is only episode 21. We just killed Adam though. Oh fuck. Damn it.
Yeah.
And then
Whedon's like, you know what? I got an idea. Let me just play around for an episode.
Yeah. They're like, guys, don't worry. James A. Contner and David Fury are like, shit, like, fuck, Joss. Just don't worry about it. So yeah, Xander gets into the driver's seat and Anya's there in the passenger seat and she's like, hey, do you know where you're going? How do you know where you're going? Xander's like, I'll figure it out. And Anya starts to be like, you know what? I'm thinking I might want to get back into being a vengeance demon. I miss being a vengeance demon. And Xander's like, don't do that. That's not cool. And then Xander
treats it like, she's like, oh, you don't want me to have a hobby? And he's like, not that one.
Yeah. And then so Xander turns around to look into the back of the ice cream truck.
Wait, before you say that, I just want to state that Anya can't just become a vengeance demon again. We saw an episode where she tried to, and the guy said no. And then she tried to do it herself and brought Vamp Willow into the world.
Yeah.
There's no just like, I'm going to go back to being a vengeance demon.
I don't think Xander knows that, though.
No, I'm just stating that for...
Yeah.
If that's something that they even are trying to reset up for her. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. So Xander turns around and Willow and Tara are in the back of the ice cream truck and they're like dressed all sexy like. And Xander's looking at him like, what's up? And they're like, hey, you want to come back here? And they're like flirting. Willow's like grabbing Tara's leg.
Caressing
like
her
handsy.
leg. Yeah. I was like,
They're
oh,
handsy.
they're doing it.
And then so Xander's like, I don't know. And then Xander's just watching. And then Willow and Tara just start off screen making out, heavy petting. And you just see Xander's wide-eyed expression like, oh my God, this is so freaking hot.
We still have so much more Xander stuff to go.
Yeah. And then Anya sees Xander, and Anya's like, just go in the back with them. And Xander's like, no, I don't need to go in the back, babe. No, I'm not going to do that. And she's like, no, go for it. Just I'll take the wheel, or I'll take over driving. And he's like, are you sure you know how to? And Anya goes, yeah, I can steer by just gesturing emphatically. And Xander's like, okay, that sounds true enough.
And that was one of those things where it felt like a meta TV thing, meta
like
movie
with the green
thing.
screen, yeah.
But it's also not dream logic, it's TV logic.
Yeah.
So
Xander goes to the back of the ice cream truck, and he has to climb through some stuff. And when he climbs through it, he ends up back in his basement apartment thing. Mm-hmm. Now, one thing that I will say that I did love about this episode is these transitions. Yeah. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
It's super cool. I don't know if it's all like real, like that's how the set is built.
Yeah.
But the way that they do this stuff is like really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's how the set, yeah, these are just like sets, like especially in the Giles one where he walks from like a crypt into the bronze or whatever. It's like, it's one of those things that like really, like if you've ever been on a set, it's like, oh yeah, that's like literally next to it.
Yeah.
Like Giles's house is like next to like Buffy's dorm room, you know? So it's like, you're like, oh, that really ruins the illusion when you see
it. Was cool that they like figured a way to like incorporate it in like this dream sequence, because it does like, it is trippy.
Yeah.
Hey, it's me, the Quenchies. I'm that late afternoon craving you just can't shake. Wait, what's that? Welch's Grape Aid? No! Made with real fruit and no added sugar, nothing answers the call of the Quenchies like Grape Aid. Got the Quenchies? Grab a Grape Aid in your juice aisle.
This episode is brought to you by Viore. Give the active people in your life something they'll truly appreciate. Performance apparel from Viore. Whether they're into running, surfing, hiking, or even just casual walks around the block, there's something for everyone. And if you're not sure what to gift them, you can't go wrong with something from Viore's Dream Knit collection. It's the perfect gift and so comfortable. Get 20% off your first purchase today at Viore. VUORI.com/Spotify.
But so yeah, Xander's back in his basement. Willow and Tara are gone, and he's like, "Wait, babes, where'd the babes go?" And the upstairs door is rattling again. And Xander's like, "I fucking told you, don't come down here." And he turns around, and then the cheese guy from Willow's dream is in Xander's dream as well. And he's like, "I got some cheese for you." And Xander's like, "What the hell?"
He says, "Cheese slices won't protect you."
Yeah,
I made sure to write down everyone.
Thank God you did.
Because I was like, this is running. This is going to be a running gag. He shows up 4 times, is reference 5.
Yeah. So Xander's like, all right, well, I'm leaving. And so Xander leaves, and now he's in the college hallway, and he sees Giles there. And everything is like colored green or blue. I don't quite remember. Everything's discolored. But Giles is like, oh, hey, Xander, nice to see you here. Did you know that there's a demon after us and after you because of what we did? And then Xander's like,
this is the first time we're getting information.
Yeah.
Like of what might actually be happening. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Tara did say like something's coming to punish you, I guess.
I guess she did say that. But then at that point, I was still thinking this was going to be an episode about Tara's reveal. Yeah. So I wasn't so locked in.
Same.
Yeah.
So Xander's like, what? There's a demon coming. Like, what kind of demon? How do we fight it? And then Giles says, Xander, your life depends on what I'm about to tell you. And then starts speaking French. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The episode has some good, like, randomness in it.
Yeah. And Xander's like, why are you talking? Why are you speaking? I don't understand French. And then Anya shows up. She's like, Xander! And he's like, Anya, what's going on? And then Anya starts speaking French. And
it's that dubbed in French too.
Yes.
Like, it's really nice. Like, they're not just speaking it. It's like added in like a dub.
Yeah. And then so Anya and Giles just start dragging Xander somewhere. And they're like, you got to come with us. And Xander's like, where are we going? Where are we going? And then they drag him to the jungle like he was in the movie that they were just watching, which was definitely not Apocalypse Now, but we'll say it's Apocalypse Now. And he's walking through the jungle, and then he ends up in a prison, and he's like shoved on his knees. And Principal Snyder is there, and he's asking him questions about like, I don't remember.
And this is a scene from Apocalypse Now, and it's referenced in with J. Peterman and Seinfeld when Elaine has to go and get him to sign off on something, like going into the jungle and you meet up with this like crazy person. I think it was played by Marlon Brando. I don't know. I never saw the movie, but I know of this scene.
Yeah.
Either it's Charlie. I don't know. It's somebody.
Yeah. So
Martin Sheen. I don't know.
Principal Snyder's there and he's asking him questions, and he tells him that he and all of his friends smell like decay and like you're going to get punished. And Xander's like, look, man, I'm just trying to meet up with Willow and Tara and possibly Buffy's mom.
And there's a reference to him saying that he's a comfortador.
Yeah.
Because I think when he was flirting with Buffy, there was a conquistador. And she's like,
he was
really
flirting with Buffy's mom.
Buffy's mom. And she's like, oh, yeah, you're a conquistador. And he's like, oh, I'm just more of a comforter. And she's like, oh, a comfortador or something like that. There's something that gets called back here. But I got to say, Principal Snyder, great cameo. Great.
Oh,
loved having him back. Loved having him back.
I mean, even like
I wish he was in more of this. I wish he was in more of this episode. Yeah.
In this scene where he's like being kind of a creepy, like menacing guy, I was like, this works. This guy's a great actor, dude.
Yeah.
But he tells Xander's like, hey, your time is running out. And he tells Xander that he's a whipping boy raised by mongrels, and he's been sat upon a sacrificial stone. And Xander's like, you know what? I don't need to take this. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to leave. And so he just does that and he leaves. And then he opens a door and then he's outside of Giles's house. And then this is where the demon that was in Willow's dream, the presence, the evil, malevolent presence that's been lurking, follows Xander through Giles's house, through the college hallways, through Buffy's dorm, and then back into Xander's basement, where he hears the door rattling again. And he's like, I'm not afraid of what's up there. Come on down. And the door opens, and it's Xander's dad. And his dad comes downstairs, and he's like, why are you always hiding us? Why don't you like let us into your life? Are you ashamed of us? Are you ashamed of us? And then the dad turns into like the demon, I guess, and rips Xander's heart out.
Yeah. He does a Kano heart rip out. What a weird way to introduce Xander's dad.
Yeah. Because we've never seen his parents before.
We've never seen his parents. We've only been referenced to them. Yeah. And like the
being
family issues and him camping outside during like Thanksgiving or Christmas or something. I think it was Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is real crazy. I think we mentioned it during that episode. There's vampires. You're camping outside. They don't need to be invited into. You have to be invited into a tent.
Yeah.
And it's winter. Even though it's California, it's still a little chilly.
It was that, I think that was in the Amends episode where it starts snowing. Yeah. The controversial Amends episode. A lot of opinions on the Amends.
I don't know how. Is that? I guess it's controversial. I forget the discourse that we had with that episode. But,
yeah. Controversial for us.
I know it has been. It was revived on Discord recently. If you like the episode, you like the episode. You know.
Yeah, no, you're allowed to like what you like.
Like what you like.
It was boring. And mopey, but so yeah, what a weird way to introduce his family, because we heard like the issues, like there are a lot of like alcoholism, it seems like, and abuse and stuff like that. So yeah, Xander gets his heart ripped out. Yeah. So then
so it's like, okay, he's dead. Like, do we got Nightmare on Elm Street rules? What's going on? You die in the dream, you die in real life. No, it's just an annoyance.
Yeah. So we go back to the Scooby Gang, like in Buffy's house, and now Willow's choking. Xander's got his heart ripped out. He's got a big chest wound. And then we zoom on over to Giles's dream.
He'll heal up just like Riley did.
Xander has a debrief to get to. He can't. I don't have time to deal with this. I'll just heal up. And I'm healed.
Just tape it up. I'm ready to go. I got a 3-hour debriefing. Don't worry.
Anybody got any duct tape?
And it's going to happen at midnight. Yeah.
Oh, God. So let's venture on over to Giles's dreamland now. And Giles's dream starts with him hypnotizing Buffy with his little pocket watch. Mm-hmm. And Buffy starts laughing at him because he's like, ha, 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 what? You don't have any power over me.
Wait, is hypnotizing a part of the Watcher Slayer relationship?
I don't think so.
Because that's creepy.
Wait, didn't he hypnotize her when he injected her with the anti-Slayer serum or whatever?
Yeah, he had her stare at like some stone or whatever, and like
yeah, the stone within the stone.
But he says this is a way for women and men to behave as they had in the past or something, or have behaved for all time. And it's like this really weird sentiment of him hypnotizing this girl and being like, you will be subservient to me. Like,
yeah.
All right. That doesn't seem like the relationship that we've been building, but okay.
Well, I think that's how he wanted the relationship to be, or how he thought it should be, because
or how
like, hey, I'm your
it
watcher. Yeah.
But it seems like towards the end of this dream, it's also like, well, that's the way it should be too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Buffy laughs at him, and then we quick cut to Giles walking through a graveyard where there's like a little carnival, and he's got like a little stroller, and he's walking with Olivia, and Buffy's dressed up like a little girl and acting like a little girl. And she's like, Giles, I want to go over here and do this vampire carnival thing. It's like, and it's a vampire like, come slay me.
The Watcher, it's like how they say the Catholic Church like leads to like, pedophiles joining it because of like the whole altar boy setup thing. It's like if you like young girls, like you would be drawn to the Watcher. Like if you were like a nerdy book reader and you're like, oh man, I can't wait to get my Watcher one day. All of these like pervy Watchers should be pissed off at Giles because they're like, we got to get rid of this one. I want my own Slayer.
Like one of them's like, so what does she look like? You got any pics of this Buffy tree?
I don't understand how Giles was never invited to any of the retreats. He has the Slayer. How would you not just have him there to hear stories? It's so insane to me. And that was like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And we also didn't address Amy the Rat at all in this episode, which I mentioned last episode was going to piss me off.
Yep.
They're doing magical spells and she stole a rat.
Dude, they brought back they're unleashing godlike powers onto the world, and this girl is still a rat.
Oh man,
dude, sometimes by mistake they're unleashing godlike power. They're like just fucking like Xander opened a book and made it catch fire by mistake, just reading like 3 words.
Yeah. Turn her back into a humanist radicus. Done. I swear. Willow, your girlfriend is a witch too. You guys can figure it out.
Like, put your heads together, dude. Stop painting on her.
Is anybody looking for this girl? Is her dad wondering where she went?
Dude.
It's been 2 years of Amy.
It's definitely not the mom. The mom is fucking melted down. The mom is gone. Dude.
It's where Riley used to put his like cell phone.
Where he hangs up his hat after a hard day of initiativing. But anyway, yeah. So it's now we're into the relationship of Giles being like Buffy's father figure caretaker thing. And Buffy goes over to this carnival attraction and she just like throws a ball at this vampire. And the vampire's like, "Oh, you staked me." And Buffy turns to Giles. She's like, "Is that good?" And Giles is like, "Yeah, that's great." Then Buffy turns around and then Giles is like, "Oh, don't do that. You're going to get it all over your face." And Buffy turns around. She has a bunch of like clay all over her face. And it's like, what? I mean, I get it later.
Yeah.
But I was like, what are you?
Yeah, during the scene where he's throwing the ball, it's like she's throwing it light and he's like, "You're the Slayer. Do better." And Olivia's like, "Oh, don't be so harsh on her." He's like, "I have to. I'm a watcher. I have to tell a girl what to do with her powers." And then she hits him with the ball and he falls over. Yeah.
So then Spike shows up and he beckons to Giles and company. He's like, "Hey, guys, come on over to this tomb. Come on over into this tomb." And Giles is like, "Oh, okay." So they go over to the tomb and Spike is in the tomb and he's like, "Hey, check this out. I hired myself out to be an attraction at this carnival." And he's in black and white and he just starts posing. Mm-hmm. And there's 10, 15 people around him just like taking pictures.
Yeah.
And Giles is like, "Great. Good for you, man." Like, and he's in color. Like anytime they go back to Spike.
Yeah.
Spike's in black and white. And then Giles and company
remaster issue. I love that Giles like, "Oh yeah, you're just like sideshow freak." He's like, showbiz. At least I'm in the biz.
Yep. So then we go back and Olivia's like on top of a little grave and she's crying. The stroller has been turned over and the cheese guy's there and he's wearing the cheese now.
His line is, "I wear the cheese doesn't wear me."
What do you think the symbolism of Spike being in black and white is?
I don't know. Oh, there's a line where Giles is like, "I should have had Buffy. I should have let Buffy stake you."
Yeah.
And my thought was like, you guys can all stake him.
Yeah, he's powerless.
Like you don't have to be like, "Buffy, stake him." Just do it. You've killed a vampire before.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Spike around for people listening. It's just they set it up where he had a reason because of the chip, and they were going to team up and fight demons and find a purpose, just like everybody in this show is trying to find a purpose freshman year of college. And instead, they're like, "Nah, he's still bad," which I'm fine with. He still has like his bad streak. But then they make him do really, really bad stuff.
Yeah. Like he betrays them hard.
Yeah, to the point
and then
where
they're like, "Oh, you scamp.
Thanks for accidentally saving us at the end. We'll let you live again."
Yeah.
They also could have just let him kill himself.
Dude, that was like 12 episodes ago too. Like, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that he's in black and white because Giles used to think of vampires as black and white, like good and evil. Vampires are evil or some shit. And Spike is just some kind of sideshow weirdo because he's in this little space between good and evil where it's like he's still bad, but he can't harm, but he's like part of the gang, but not really. That's I'll say that's my analysis.
That's a deep thought. That's deep.
I'll go with that. Yeah. I don't know why Olivia's crying. I guess the stroller's pushed over because Buffy's not his child.
Or the stroller they had another baby. Was the stroller empty?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the stroller push, but yeah.
I assumed that it was like him pushing Buffy around. And then he was like, "Oh, I'm your father figure." And now she's out on her own and she doesn't really need him. And like they're lamenting that.
Yeah. Yeah, you plumbed the depths with that one.
Sure. So Giles walks into the Bronze now, and Willow and Xander are there on his couch, and they're doing research. And Giles is like, "What are you doing?" And Xander has his giant chest wound, and Anya's on stage, and she's doing stand-up and bombing. And she doesn't.
You have to rate her stand-up. You know, you're the expert.
Her stand-up's trash.
She gets some laughs, though.
In dream world, in her dream, she gets...
So it seemed like in Xander's dream that she was trying to look for a purpose thing, too. Like she was bored, right?
Yeah.
Why did stand-up seem to be the thing that she...
Well, this is Giles's dream.
Yeah, but okay, so you're saying, I don't know, because everyone has the cheese guy. Yeah. So the dreams are all interconnected.
Yeah.
So they're not just like, oh, this is his dream, this is happening because of his thought. Like some stuff is. But it seems like the Anya thing is also something that is spread throughout.
Okay.
So I'm wondering.
Well, Anya wasn't in Willow's, was she?
No, she wasn't in Willow's, and she's not. Yeah, she's in Xander's and Giles.
I guess if I were to psychoanalyze Xander's version of Anya, it's like she's cool for right now, but he really wants to just like go out and whore about. And if I were to psychoanalyze Anya in Giles's dream, it's that Giles sees Anya as like this joke person, and he doesn't find her funny, but everybody else does, and he's like, why are we still hanging out with Anya? Like, because he was annoyed by her, like, like an episode or two ago, where he's like, I'm fucking tired of your snide remarks.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are we putting up with her? So that's my psychoanalysis of what Giles and how he sees Anya. Mm-hmm. And then Willow.
Giles is the reason she's the way she is now, right?
Yeah.
In the Wish episode,
we don't need to revisit the Wish episode. We don't need to revisit that.
The listener should just revisit that in the beginning of the next episode. All right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that he's the one that like puts an end to her Wish universe.
Yeah, he does. But then did she lose powers immediately? Whatever. Yeah, you're right. Let's just move on.
Yeah. But yeah, Willow then says to Giles, and she's like, hey, this is all your fault because something is after all of us, referencing this like demon that's lurking all around. Mm-hmm. And Willow asks Giles for an explanation, like, why is this thing coming after us? You need to explain it. And then Giles is like, I'll explain it in the form of a song.
They found out he did music, and they
bro.
They're like, you can sing? Type.
He has like a whole musical number here. Like he just like goes, he starts singing about Buffy. And he's like, the spell that we cast with Buffy must have released some primeval evil that's come back and it's seeking a vengeance. And I've got to warn Buffy. And like the whole crowd, thank you. The whole crowd has their lighters out and stuff. And Willow and Xander are still researching. They got their lighters up. And then the music just stops. And then Giles like falls over and he grabs the mic cord and he starts following the mic cord to like, where is this mic cord going?
It wasn't even plugged in.
And the mic cord goes behind stage, like backstage behind like these curtains. And at the end of the cord, it's like all this tangled stuff. Everything's all tangled up and fucked up. But he finds his pocket watch because he's a watcher.
God. Yeah.
And the evil looming presence lurks behind him. And he's like, I know what you are. I know what you want. I know what you've come here for. I know what you are. And this evil presence just starts scalping him.
Yeah, and we see this very thick blood coming down his face.
Yeah.
And he's like, you didn't have a watcher.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
Yeah. So that's Giles' dream.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay, so now we go to the final dream, and it's Buffy's dream.
Yeah.
And Anya's in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Anya is the person.
Is in this one. Yeah.
She's waking Buffy up because Anya is in Willow's bed, maybe symbolizing that how Anya's replaced Willow in the gang because Xander wants to hook up with Anya. I don't know. That one might be a stretch.
This felt like Anya understands what's happening because she's so ancient. Because they vacillate between her being knowledgeable and her being clueless a lot in this show. Where I like her being knowledgeable because she's been around for so long. Yeah. And being powerless and knowledgeable. Like, it's like being Buffy without the powers. Like, she knows all this stuff about demons, about where they come from, all this stuff, but she can't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite version of Anya. Like, knowledgeable, but still, like, cold and brutal.
More like, oh, that's the ascension? I'm out.
Yeah,
That's realistic. She's like,
you're all gonna die. I'm gonna hopping on a bus. See ya. Have fun.
Yeah. Like, and her being in this dream, being like, I don't know why I'm mentally trapped in here, but I know that this is because of some weird shit that you guys did.
Yeah. And Buffy's like, I don't want to wake up. And Anya's like, no, you have to wake up. Wake up right now. You have to do it. And Buffy's like, ugh. And Buffy's laying on her side, and she rolls over on her back, and the demon's right above her. So then Buffy actually shoots and wakes up in her bed at home, and she gets out of that bed because Tara's there, and the bed's all disheveled, and she says to Tara, oh, Faith and I just made that bed, which is a reference to like a couple episodes ago.
That's when I like perked up. I was like, whoa, what's going on now? Now I was like interested.
Yeah. That's when I was like, okay, are we going to get some answers about some stuff?
I'm like, how does Tara know? What is Tara doing here, too? I was like, this is going to be interesting.
Well, remember when they made the bed last time? Mm-hmm. They were talking about, like, we got to get it ready. Mm-hmm. And then Buffy's like, for who? Here, Tara's like, when Buffy's like, Faith and I just made that bed, and Tara's there, and Tara goes, for who? I thought, and then Buffy's like, I thought you were here to tell me. And then Tara says, Buffy.
Well, in the original, it's like little sis is coming or something.
Yeah. Little sis. Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. Great callback. Great memory on Anya, Vance.
Yeah. Maybe it's a character that I know that shows up in the show at some point.
Maybe. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But Tara says, I don't know. My note here says Tara says that Buffy lost them. And Buffy's like, I think I need to find the rest of the gang. And then Tara gives her the Manus tarot card.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm not going to use this. I think I rewound that section because I like was writing down something and I looked back up and I was like, is that something? Is that something I'm going to need to know? And it's just a tarot card. Yeah, it's just.
Well, it was one of the cards that they used to awaken the spirit in the last episode.
Okay. Man, I really did not pay that much attention to that chanting. Someone on Discord posted the whole like verbatim what the spell is. And
yeah, it's one of the. It was 3 tarot cards. I think Manus is the hand, which is the hand of like an animal, is what they awaken or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Buffy's like, I'm never going to use that. And Tara says, oh, you think that you're not going to use it? You haven't even begun. You haven't even begun your journey. And it's like.
We're 4 seasons in.
Buffy's like, I've been doing this for fucking 5 years now. What do you mean? So Buffy's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out. I'm leaving. She goes and she walks around the college hallways and she just goes up to some random guy and she's like, have you seen my friends?
Yo, this guy was my best. He's just like, no.
And then so she keeps walking and she sees a hole in the wall and she's like, that's weird. And then Joyce pops up out of the hole in the wall. Mm-hmm. And Buffy's like, Mom, what are you doing in there? Why are you living in the wall? And Joyce is like, I'm fine here. Don't worry about me. I'm cool. And Buffy's like, I don't think you should be living there. And
but Buffy, it's fine for Riley. It's not good enough for Joyce, but it's fine for Riley to be living at the burnt down school.
And then Joyce is like, oh, it's fine. Don't worry about me. I'm doing fine here. Just go on and you have your adventures. And then she starts like shaking, and Buffy's like, what's going on? And the mom's like, it's just a mouse on my knees. And Buffy's like, okay.
He be trying to get some help.
Yeah. So then Buffy's like, okay, well, if you're okay living there. And then Joyce is like, well, I mean, if you were able to like, bust down the wall and you let me out, like that'd be cool. And Buffy's like, nah, I gotta go find Riley. And she just walks away.
She looks and sees Xander going up the stairs. And then
is that what happens?
Xander's like, I was like, why is Xander walking up the stairs? And that's really like him for this. And he doesn't he's just looking around and walks up the stairs. But then I don't understand what the reference of the mom being like, well, if you could help me.
I think here we go, Joe, psychoanalyzing this, is that Joyce is in a completely like separate place. She doesn't know anything that's going on in Buffy's life right now. Mm-hmm. And she's like been walled off, I guess. Mm-hmm. And Buffy's like keeping secrets. Like, we opened the episode with Joyce being like, well, I finally met Riley. Like, and that was part of like what Faith was ragging Joyce about like Buffy hasn't called, Buffy hasn't been home. So Joyce is in this like place in Buffy's mind where it's like she's been walled off, and Joyce wants to be a part of it. So she's like, hey, if you could actually like break down this wall, that'd be cool, and we could like be a part of each other's lives again. And Buffy's like, nah, I'm out, deuces.
Yeah. It's like that should be an episode in itself.
Yeah.
As opposed to, because last time they talked about it, it was when she like flew through the window and saved her mom's life from Faith, who was about to kill her. So it's like, it was there, but then like, hey, Mom, I switched bodies with someone. The military. I just fought the whole military and a whole bunch of demons. Like, it's one of those things where like you can kind of get the mom thing, but like, do you really want to know this?
Well, to be fair, it seems it does in this scene and in the season as a whole. It seems like Joyce is fine with like not really knowing, because when Faith was taunting her about like Buffy hasn't been home, Joyce was like, I don't really get that much of a fuck.
But then, like the episode after that, she was like, "Hey, we should spend some time together," and it gives Fuffy a hug.
Yeah,
Faith a hug. Which one? Fuffy. Yeah, Fuffy. It was Fuffy.
Faith in Buffy's body.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, so it does seem like Joyce is like trying to reach out and like, hey, I want to be a part of my daughter's life or whatever.
I accept your psychoanalysis of the situation.
So Buffy walks away, and
But Buffy doesn't give a fuck.
No, Buffy doesn't. Buffy could not care less. She's got more important things to attend to, like that dick she's riding, which she fucking walks away and finds Riley at a meeting in like the initiative's office. Mm-hmm. And Buffy's like, Riley, what's happening? How'd the debrief? Is this the debrief? And Riley's like, the debrief has been done for hours, babe. Guess what? I'm now the Surgeon General, and I'm drawing up a plan for world domination.
I was loving this stuff right here. Like this Riley being like kind of funny and jokey. Like, put him in a dumb, over the top spy comedy.
Yes.
And
and interestingly, like Riley's sitting across from this like mystery figure. Yeah. Like
I knew exactly who it was.
See, I didn't know who it was, but when it finally got a close up of him, I was like, oh shit. So he's like, I'm coming up for a plan I'm coming up with a plan for world domination. And Buffy's like, that doesn't really sound like you. That doesn't sound like what you should be doing. And then Riley's like, oh no, it's going to be sick. The key element of my plan for world domination is coffee makers that think. And then it like zooms under the table too. And he's got a gun on the table. And it's like, oh, he's like not fucking around. He's got this gun. Like he's a dangerous fellow. Mm-hmm. And then it cuts across the table to a close-up of who Riley's sitting with. And it is Adam with no makeup. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Because like there's all these references of like Adam and Riley being brothers and everything. And now it's like in Buffy's mind scape, like they're working together and they are tied together and, all this shit.
Yeah. And this Adam is like fun. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't
he's
look him
great.
up. I didn't figure out who the actor was or if he's in anything else. But yeah, I was like, oh, good for him. He gets like some screen time without like all the
those
makeup.
horrible prosthetics and makeup.
Yeah.
But then it cuts back to Buffy, and Buffy's confused. She's like, I don't like where this is going. And the demon, the looming evil presence that has been in everyone's dream, is lurking behind Buffy. And then there's an announcement over the intercom that the demons have escaped and everyone should run for their lives. And Riley and Adam get up and they're like, we got to go hide. Let's go make a pillow fort.
Well, the line is Riley goes, better make a fort. And Adam goes, I'll get the pillows. And I was like, that is so good. That is so funny. It's like the perfect setup payoff joke.
Yeah.
And then it also has the like, we're brothers, but it's military, but also like young. I don't know. It has like, it's very simple, but I really liked it.
Yeah. So they run off and Buffy is there and she's like, well, don't worry. I guess I'll have to do my own goddamn vampire slaying shit. I have this bag of weapons. She goes to open the bag of weapons and there's nothing in there except for the clay or slime or whatever that shit
I decided
was.
to call it mud.
Okay, I said mud in the first one and then I adjusted here to say slime because it's gray.
I will say it did take me a while to decide on just calling it mud based off of like when our hands are in it. I'm like, it's not cement. It's not paste. It's not gruel. Like, but because she put it on her face, I was like, all right, I'm just going to go mud. But it could be clay mask. I don't know.
So she digs into the bag with the mud and she starts rubbing it on her face, reminiscent of what Giles was dreaming about. And then she is like putting it on. And then Riley shows up in like normal guy clothes. And he's not like corporate initiative Riley anymore. And he's like, hey, why aren't you looking for your friends? And also, he keeps calling Buffy Killer.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, what's up, Killer? And then here he's like, why aren't you looking for your friends? And Buffy's like, what? And then he goes, okay, Killer, guess you're on your own. And then he leaves. And then Buffy starts to like walk away and she walks into the desert.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tara's there in a pretty fucking, here, Joe's Fashion Corner here. Pretty dope pink outfit. Looks really cool. Looks very genie-ish. Is Tara a genie?
Yeah, she's on her Aladdin.
Yeah, she's in her I Dream a Genie getup.
Yeah, I've realized what it is about Tara. Like, she's very fidgety. She's like very, and sometimes like she moves with. Sometimes when she's talking, her like head moves, like and different than like the words she's saying. You know what I mean? Like she's just kind of moving, but saying something that's not like. It's like a body language that doesn't match up with what's being said sometimes for me.
I think you hit it on the head like a long time ago when you said that she has like sleepy eyes. Like she just looks sleepy all the time.
Well, it's a sleepy eye look, but like with the like a gape mouth too, where it's like she's like where you're like, what? And you're like frozen in that, like, what?
What?
So that's why I'm like, is she like a stoner? Because it seems like that like 90s, 2000s stoner vibe. I was like, what is happening? Wait, so
like she just woke up.
Wait, so Spike's a vampire that you're friends with? And wait, you're dating a soldier guy? Wait, Riley?
You used to date a fucking vampire?
Wait, Giles is a librarian?
Willow, get over here.
Willow, pay my bag, Willow. I got a kitten. Oh, the kitten close-ups. The slow-mo kitten close-ups in that first dream.
Yeah.
That was something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you think that's the same cat? You think that's the same cat from the fucking Faith and Buffy dream that Faith was turning into? Is that the same cat?
Did we just stumble on it? I don't know.
Is the character that you know is going to happen, is her name Cat?
I don't know the character's name. I just know the actress that plays her. But we are tying something together. If that cat is a cat thing.
Is that the same cat? Dude, I feel dumb with that cat shit.
I don't feel dumb at all. I don't care. Like when they do stuff like that, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. And then when they reveal it, I go, did it work or did it not work? It's definitely not the same cat because that was a grayish older cat.
Yeah, yeah. But Buffy walks into the desert. She meets up with Tara, and she's like, Tara, why are you here? Why are you in my dream? And Tara's like, am I in your dream, bro? Or are you fucking just going crazy? I'm not in your dream. I'm just a conduit. I've been borrowed to speak for her. Pronoun game. Sorry, I just dropped something, everybody. Pronoun game.
Yeah.
She's speaking for her, and then the evil lurking presence that's been stalking everybody in their dreams comes up behind Buffy. And it has no speech and has no name, and it lives in the action of death, the blood cry, the penetrating wound. She is destruction. She is the first Slayer.
Okay. That's really was my reaction. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So does this mean every Slayer that dies just lives on a it's just like the soul plane of like not soul plane, but like the
soul plane.
What is it in
like Black Panther?
Yeah, what is that? The ethereal plane, or
I'm not sure.
God, what is that called?
Or is it like, in Star Wars where it's like, hey, remember in the last one where it was like, I am all the Jedi and I am all the Sith or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, like what happened? I don't know. Like she's died already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, so the first Slayer has had all this like face painting on stuff, and Buffy using that mud to paint her face is like, oh, I'm borrowing the first Slayer's power. I guess that's symbolism there. She's like, oh, I'm going to invoke this spirit.
Yeah.
So the first Slayer's there, and she's like telling, Buffy, like, you're not supposed to have friends. I didn't have friends. I did this all alone. Why are you doing this alone? This is bullshit. You're supposed to be alone. And Buffy's like, I'm not alone. I have all my friends. I want my friends back because my friends have my back. And then the Slayer's like, you don't have any friends. No one loves you. Only I love you. And we are all alone. And then the cheese guy shows up. What does the cheese guy say here?
The cheese guy just shows up and he dangles 2 slices of cheese. He doesn't say anything. There's a part where there's like a live, like she pulls out the photo, but it's like a live photo. It's like, they like cropped
them all
image.
asleep on the
Yeah. And at one point Buffy's like, no, I am me. I shop. I sneeze.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah, I'm just like, okay, so Tara, like, are we gonna address this Tara situation, Buffy?
Well, that's what I was like. I thought it was all leading up to a Tara reveal, and it's not.
Yeah.
Tara's just like a red herring for the first Slayer.
Why did she need to go through terror to do this?
No clue.
Yeah.
Maybe because Tara's the first witch?
You know what also sucks? Is that we've done the thing where separating the friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've done that.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're doing it again.
Yeah.
But we literally just did this like 2 episodes ago.
Yes. So Buffy and the first Slayer start fighting. They're having a tussle. I noted that at one point Buffy punches the first Slayer in the crotch. I was like, what the hell was that?
Wait, when does she fight Tara?
Oh,
don't they fight?
Do they fight? I don't think they fight.
I thought she started fighting Tara at some point, but I guess she's fighting the first. Is she fighting the first Slayer? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't remember her. I don't have anything in my notes about her.
All right. Yeah.
Well, I could be wrong. But they start fighting, and then Buffy is like screaming in the first Slayer's face, like, hey, we don't do it like we used to anymore. Just because you did it all alone doesn't mean that we're doing it like that today, all right? We've upgraded. We got friends. We got allies. And they start tumbling down this giant mountain. And then Buffy, somebody screams enough. I just have enough written in all caps in my notes.
Well, they tumble down. They end up at the back at her house.
Yeah.
The Slayer's on top of her, and she's like trying to stab her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, enough of this. And like, are you done or whatever?
Yeah.
And it seems like Buffy, I mean, there might be a little more to this, but like, it seems like Buffy could just tell the first Slayer to like, fuck off. And that's it. And basically, she's like,
just like how Buffy does all the time with everything. She's like, the Watchers, I don't need to do this. First Slayer, I don't need to do this.
Yeah.
Are these consequences finally coming back? Doesn't seem like it.
And it's like, oh, wait, so the first Slayer can't even kill Buffy? It's just like, she's stabbing away, and she's like, are you done? This isn't working. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And I think...
She gives her some hair care advice.
Yeah, that was one of those ones where I was like, geez.
Yeah.
And if you want to like be in the workforce, like, I was just like, wait, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, are we shaming dreads and like...
Literally, the climax of this fight is Buffy being like, I'm just going to ignore you.
Yeah, I'm just going to ignore you, and you need to fix your hair, you ancient beast, if you want to work in the corporate America.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the threat was boring. Yeah, and I think I have in my note terror warning.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that was the spirit of the first Slayer, who I guess killed people with stone tools in the desert.
It was a cool looking knife.
Yeah, it didn't look like it would kill a vampire, but sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't made of wood.
Yeah.
It's like a rock knife.
Yeah.
Maybe she was just beheading them all. Because that's the one way to kill vampires, right?
Yeah, I don't know what time period this would have been. And if... What came first, the Slayer or the vampire, really?
Ooh, chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
Guess we'll find out next season.
I love that Giles has known all about this for so long, and we've never gotten a hint.
Yeah.
There's never, like, we've had so many random one-off episodes, and we've never done one where it's like, hey, this is where Slayers come from.
Yeah. So now the entire gang wakes up. And they all sit around their table to debrief about all the joined dreams that they had. And then Giles is like, hey, maybe us joining with Buffy and the first Slayer and all the power of the Slayers, they considered that like an affront to that power source or something. And they're all like, yeah, man, that was wild. We shouldn't have done that. And Joyce comes down and she's like, what's going on, guys? You guys are still awake? And they're like, yeah, we all had terrible simultaneous bad dreams and people in our dreams were trying to kill us.
Yeah,
and
she's
Joyce
like,
is like, ooh, that sounds bad. Y'all want some hot chocolate?
Yeah. That's when Spike has to show up and be like, marshmallows?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to reference hot chocolate and not have Spike in there?
Yeah. But as soon as she's like, I want some hot chocolate, all of them are like, yeah, oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And then Xander's acting weird around her because he had a vaguely sex dream about her. He calls her Joyce and he's like, well, I mean, Buffy's mom. Hi, Buffy's mom.
Yeah. So Xander's acting weird around the person he had a dream about. Giles acts completely normal about a person he slept with and has not interacted with much. And who he hangs out with daughter.
Yeah.
Like more than she does. Like,
true.
There would be something. They need to have a moment or like some awkwardness.
Yeah,
like,
they absolutely do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Joyce goes off to make the hot chocolate, and then Buffy starts being like, well, I never really thought about the first Slayer, and like, that's crazy, like how she must have gone through the world and how wild it must have been to be that first Slayer. And I'm happy that I'm slaying now these days and I got all my friends or whatever. And then she gets up, starts to walk away. She's like, well, at least you guys didn't dream about that freaky guy with the cheese. Don't know where the hell that came from. And then she walks away, and then the rest of the gang looks up like, we did all dream about the guy with the cheese. Great.
Yep. Yeah, you go ahead.
So then Buffy walks upstairs. She looks in her room. She looks at the bed that she and Faith made. And and, you know, all that shit. And then you just hear Tara's voice say, "You think you know what's to come, what you are, who you are. You haven't even begun." And then Buffy looks concerned.
That's my terror warning.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. The fact that Tara is saying this should make Buffy be like, "Hey, Willow, what the fuck is the deal with your girl?"
Hey, Willow, have you ever asked Tara a single question about who she is or what she is and how she... she rides horses.
Yeah.
She has a cat. Delve a little deeper. No, not delve deeper into the nether realms. We all know you guys are doing that in your nether regions. What is her deal?
Who is she?
But yeah, that's the episode.
I will say one thing I do like about this episode is that it sets up that they can't do what they did before again.
Yeah.
But at the end, they could do it again, and Buffy could just tell them to fuck off. Because I was like, once you unleash, like, hey, we could all just do a spell, turn in superpowers, like fight somebody, and like stop bullets.
Mm-hmm.
We can do this all the time. Now you need to be like, you can't do this. It upsets the balance. If you do it again, you'll destroy the world. Like something where you can't unlock it's a one-time use thing.
Yeah.
But the way this ends, it's just like, it's the end of the episode. Buffy's tired of this. Get out of here, First Slayer. Fix your hair. I'm like, wait. Oh, there's no... And then at the end of this around the table, they're like, "Oh man, I feel bad for the First Slayer." And Giles' idea is like, "Oh, the First Slayer never had a watcher. She never stood a chance." Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, Buffy quit the Watchers Council. You don't work as a watcher anymore. Like, what? But having watchers is what hurt the Slayer half the time, because you guys kept them from having friends and people that could support them.
Yeah.
That's the only reason Buffy's still alive. That's the whole point of this season, this episode arc, these last couple episodes. So, I don't know.
I will say the Wikipedia page says that the first Slayer's name is Sineya. Sineya?
Mm-hmm.
Sineya. Maybe she comes back. She has a blue link, so maybe we'll see her again. Maybe it'll be like there'll be some kind of thing where like they take away Buffy's Slayer power because she was an affront to the Slayerness, and she has. I don't know.
No, that won't happen because Faith keeps having Slayer's like Slayer powers.
Yeah,
like if anything, this first Slayer would be like, "Oh, I guess she just doesn't have a Terra to jump into."
Yeah.
But it's like it's not even like Terra was in the room or anything. It's interesting that she's the vocal piece, you know?
Yeah. But that is it for season fucking.
Joe's gotten tired.
Season 4. It's just like this. I did a lot of psychoanalysis here, man. My brain hurts. I may have said some smart things here, and that's a rarity for old Joey boy here. But yeah, the next episode, Vance, is titled Buffy versus Dracula.
I like that title.
Yeah, it's fun. I hope it's more of the like silliness.
Yes, I hope it's silly. I hope it's a vampire that's a celebrity vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, whose dream did you like the best?
Yeah, we should rank these dreams.
Yeah, let's rank the dreams.
I think I like Giles is the best, maybe.
I mean, so. Yeah.
Xander's long, and it has some stuff in it. I didn't like Willow's all that much.
Yeah.
I like parts of Buffy's.
I'd go Giles, Xander, Buffy, Willow.
Yeah, I can stick with that.
Yeah.
Xander's is so long that it has enough stuff that's going to be number 2.
Well, it's also like...
Giles had the musical number, though.
Yeah, Giles was fun.
Yeah.
But I think the length of Xander's shows like all of his insecurities, man, and like where his head's at, and he's a horn dog.
It's just it's teenage boy rule, teenage girl rules. Like,
yeah, he's a teenage boy.
I mean, I don't what was like, who was making this dream happen? The first Slayer wanted him to dream about hooking up with Willow, or like you know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. Willow and Tara. And Joyce.
And Anya was like fine.
And not Anya.
Well, he's banging Anya. There's no fantasy there.
Yeah, the grass is always greener on Xander.
Yeah.
And maybe they're playing into that whole thing of that bullshit stat about like men think about sex every 7 seconds. Like, no, we don't. Dude, we would never get anything done.
I do love that you could just say something like that and then it just sticks and travels for decades.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be true. That sounds about right.
That sounds 7 seconds. Yeah. You just make up a number. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
One of those made up facts like 9/11 wasn't an inside job.
Well, that has been Boys Watching.
Yeah. Yep. You got anything else to say about this one, or anything else to say about? Well, we'll talk more in depth about season 4 and
season 4 is we're gonna have to really do a deep dive on this, and fill out that poll. Get your thoughts in.
Yeah, definitely get on the Discord. This is the time to do it.
Yeah,
we'll send you lovely welcome notes. You'll see where we have that shit posted. And take part in the conversations. Like, we got a bunch of people that are on our Discord and just never participate.
or they're participating in the spoiler chat. We have a spoiler chat that we do not visit. So
yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Or just be a lurker,
It is also fun to we have season 1 talk, season 2 talk, season 3 talk. We'll probably open up a season 4 talk, and people bring up stuff from those past. Because I know that some people are just starting the podcast and they're catching up, and they're like, "Well, I had something to say about fucking Reptile Boy." And
that's why we did the Discord, because we can't be on social media with the spoilers. We can't be on the Reddit thread, so we got the Discord so we can talk about what we have seen, and you guys can talk about. For the people who've seen this show so many times, you guys can deep dive in the spoiler section, and there's also a Xander debate section that I'm sure will be hot after this one.
Feels like it's gonna be lively after the Xander dream sequence thing.
I kind of stay out of that one myself, but Joe is active in it.
I get in on there. Whenever I see a little alert that there's some new chatter in the Xander debate channel, I'm like, let's see what this is about. Crack my knuckles. All right, here we go. I don't have anything going on today.
I won't be going out tonight. Cancel my plans.
Stephanie, hold my calls.
Xander Slanderer is back, and I have something to do.
Shout out Xander Slanderer, my sparring partner in most of these Xander debates. But yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Join the Discord, rate and review for a shout out. Join our Patreon, where we talk about Angel and we do movie reviews. Most recent one was on Cocaine Bear. We got a good one coming up for freaking April.
Yeah, we got to figure out when we're gonna do that, when we're gonna see it, what we're gonna do. We'll talk about that off.
We'll talk. We like to keep these a little bit of a surprise for everybody, but I'm excited for the April one.
Yeah, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, so join the Patreon. Follow the Instagram account. Our shit's kind of been blowing up there. Vance makes some fun edits and stuff for the Instagram. Follow the Instagram at Boys Watching Buffy. And if you want to email in, boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com. That's a wrap for season 4, everybody. Stay tuned next week for the bonus episode, season 4 recap. And then further on, we hop into season 5 with Buffy versus Dracula.
We're drawing up a plan for world domination. The key element? Coffee makers that think.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.